So my presentation was designed for 15 minutes. I'll see if I can do it in 7 or 8. I think what I'll talk about is, when we talk about sustainable development, there's a foundation that has to be built. And we'll talk about that foundation on which inclusive, sustainable, equitable, all kinds of development can happen. I represent BORDA, which is a German non-profit organization. We've actually been working in Ladakh for the last about 25 years, first on micro hydro projects, passive solar energy. We helped to set up a local NGO called Ladakh, the Ladakh Ecological Development Group. This one, the story starts with sanitation, and we were invited by the then Deputy Commissioner Prasanna Ramaswamy, and Zahida Bano, who was the administrator of the Municipal Committee of Leh. Two wonderful people without which this work wouldn't have happened. Now, Leh has a variable population. In the summertime, you've got 1 lakh people in Leh on any given day. In the winter, you have 30,000. You've got 80% of homes now use flush toilets. 15 years ago, 80% used to use dry toilets, right, which produce no wastewater, no pollution. Hotels, there are over 600-700 hotels and guest houses. They all have septic tanks that leach into the groundwater. In about 2016-17, some researchers found that there was E. coli contamination in the groundwater, which people used to drink. So, they invited us to Leh to say, look, what can we do? Because we are a sanitation non-profit technical organization. Now, they're building a sewerage network, but that will complete in the next 2 years, serve only 40% of the town, right? And that is 2070, that is still 5 years away. So they invited us in April 2017 to say, what can we do here, right? So very, very quickly, we said fecal sludge management, where you clean out your septic tanks regularly. The sludge that comes out of it, or the septage, you treat it instead of discarding it on open land, which is what was happening in Leh at the time, which is pretty much still what happens in most of India, because FSM, fecal sludge management, is a very new concept. We said it can work in Leh, but it will require a lot of adaptation because of the terrain, because of the climate. So going very quickly, they said, look, we don't have money to do FSM. We don't have time, because this was April. By October, you have to finish whatever you want to do. So we said, okay, why don't we do a PPP structure? We'll bring in the capital. We'll design, build, operate everything. The government has to invest zero, absolutely nothing. We'll take all the responsibility. But for that, we need the hotels to agree that they will clean their septic tanks once a year. We will provide the service, and they will pay for that. We called the hotel owners together, which Zaida and Prasanna sort of, organized for us. And they said, sure, look, 7,000 rupees a year if you have to spend, no problem. So this was the first public-private partnership in fecal sludge management in India. And now that's been replicated in Andhra Pradesh, 78 towns, Telangana, about 60 towns, and they're building on that. So BORDA raised the full money to invest in the treatment plant. Net, we invested about a little over 1 crore of rupees or so. The Municipal Committee of Leh provided the land. We got a partner, CDD Society of Bangalore, to design the system. And we invited the Blue Water Company to come and run the whole system end to end for a 5-year contract. Basically, Blue Water Company gets 90% of the fees paid by the hotels after they provide the service. The municipality keeps 10% for doing very little work. And with that 90%, we aim to cover our operating cost and to return the capital which BORDA has invested. This is a treatment plant, fully biological system, uses almost zero electricity. We have plants in there, we have flowers in there. There's a playground next door. There is no smell, no pollution. In fact, people, before we got the full fencing built, before the municipality built the complete fencing, people used to come and take walks because that was the only paved area in that place where people could come and take a nice walk. And we had to finally close it because as a fecal sludge treatment plant, it's actually, it's not hazardous, but it's not safe for people either, especially with kids and all. So these are some of the pictures. We painted this truck, which was this dirty truck that the municipality used to run. We gave it a slightly Buddhist quotation on it. We said, happiness comes from what you give, not what you receive. So give us your shit and be happy. We were a little worried how people would take it, but people have been quite tickled by it up there. So, we finished the whole project from the first time we visited, April 18th, I think was the first time I went to Leh. In 4 months, we had the inauguration of the system. other cities, other states in India are struggling for two years to get similar projects off the ground because they don't get collaboration locally to get land allocation, permissions, etc. The kind of support we got from municipality and the Hill Council and the DC's office was, I think, unprecedented in India till today anywhere. And that's the reason we were able to do it. Total investment is a little over 1 crore. We earned revenues of about 35-40 lakhs. We do earn a profit. I'm not sure if we'll return the full money to BORDA in time or not. We're able to operate about 8 months of the year because of the cold and everything freezes. Now, the important is we clean about 850 tanks annually, so about 100 plus per month on average. Earlier, the municipal committee used to provide the same service. They used to clean about 60 per year. So you can see there's a 15-fold increase in the amount of fecal sludge being collected and safely treated, which means that fecal sludge is not going into the groundwater. And they used to lose money doing it. We are earning a profit doing it, right? Because of efficiency and control and customer service. We also got an award from the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs in 2018 for a system we developed which uses multiple pumps, because in incline, there's a problem with many small towns. You can't pull the sludge. There's a truck with a pump and it can't pull the sludge all the way, and then you get inefficient service and spillage. And our team was able to work and design the system, and now that's used in many, many towns with narrow roads or inclines. There's some photos. We believe in our sanitation workers. I say, if all the lawyers, all the engineers went on holiday for a month in India, our life would go on just fine, right? If all the sanitation workers, all the garbage collectors went on holiday for a month in India, we all would be in deep shit, literally. So we have a very nice, in our office, we have a building, a nice facility, television, nice kitchen, nice bathroom. We've had almost zero turnover, whereas normally you have a 6-month cycle, these people quit their jobs. People have stayed with us for 2.5 years, good working conditions. That's how the plant looks. We serve the army and other players, non-residential players. And this is, now just very quickly, this is how fecal sludge is typically discharged in India. We built this was the first treatment plant we built near Bangalore. Now it is discharged into a wall. You can sniff anywhere on this plant. It's near the Bangalore airport. You will smell nothing. I'll spend 2 minutes on this. As we, from sanitation, we started working on other things. We said, look, small towns in India have got very weak administration, good people, not enough training, not enough money. They don't plan well, and therefore when they implement projects, it's a copy and paste of what happened in Chandigarh or Delhi or Bombay, and it's a disaster for small towns. You waste too much money, don't get what you want. So we launched this new project where we surveyed 300 residents of Leh and sort of got a sense of what their problems were. Water supply was a big concern for them, parking, sewage. And we set out this project which was to make Leh more livable, sustainable and inclusive. And the key tenets of that program are to help local authorities formulate good plans on what should Leh look like, right? Improve the understanding of climate change and build leadership and management skills, not just administrative skills. And then sort of bring change makers together and sort of create more of a community that cares about the town and acts on it. So I won't go through all this, but we have done a lot of work on creating events, designing public toilets and walkable streets. We said, look, why don't we just make the whole center of Leh no traffic, right? Just make it only walkable, maybe some golf carts for people who can't. And I think even the DC Prasanna at that time thought that was a bit too much, and we got one street redesigned. We have published a beautiful study. I have a few copies here on the water situation in Leh. This is a street we redeveloped. It used to take 30 minutes for cars to go from one end to the other. Now it takes 6 minutes because we took out the parking and we made it one way. And people actually initially objected a lot, but now they love it. Even the shopkeepers love it because people can just walk and hang out there. It's called Changspa Street. We're doing detailed studies. We're doing leadership training programs for senior leaders and future leaders from NGOs and government. A lot of exposure visits and promoting the idea of continuous 24/7 water supply, which actually results in less water, less energy, less wastage, and more collection of water revenue for cities. So our plans continue to help Leh become, there's a place where they were going to build a multi-story parking right off the main market. We said, look, let's make it a multi-story park instead, and that's what we're doing. It's a 2-story park with sports and sort of recreational facilities. A bunch of things that we're doing. We're pioneering the Green Hotels project there, where hotels can act to reduce their footprint. Just a couple of highlights from the water report we did. Leh, like India, Leh has a water management problem, not a water problem. They have enough water, it is just not managed well. And that's why all our cities are having a water problem, not because we don't have water, but because we treat water as a single-use resource like plastic. We bring it from far away, we use it for a few seconds, and boom, it's gone. So we promote the idea of capturing it, treating it, and then reusing it for productive purposes. And we've been working on doing metering so that you can charge for the water fairly, reduces wastage, increases revenue. Other thoughts for Ladakh, I think Pangong Lake is one of those disasters waiting to happen because there's no planned tourism over there, and we have submitted drawings on how to manage the wastewater and the waste there. No rest stops along the way. If you drive 5-6 kilometers in Leh, you won't find a decent toilet from Leh to Pangong, Leh to Nubra. We're actually promoting now the idea of having 0 water bottles in Leh. Right? The first city maybe in the country, maybe in the world, which will have 0 water bottles, while protecting the income that shopkeepers and water this thing owns through bulk storage, reusable water bottles, etc. Very doable if there's some political will. And then looking at agricultural self-sufficiency, medicinal and high-value plants, and looking at surpluses. We're also launching a program where we're working with small town administrators and councillors and building their awareness and skills about sustainable urbanization and leadership, urban leadership. And this is one of our wastewater treatment plants in Bangalore, right in the heart of Bangalore in a housing community. And all the water that we use for flushing is treated sewage. The swimming pool is next door. The walking path is around this little bed. And for my friend who's doing the flower business, there's some beautiful flowers that we grow using the sewage right there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.